Hello everyone, welcome to developer stream for Spring 2025. We're going to show off the new update. It's going to be released during the stream. It's going to be a bit of a shorter stream because there isn't actually that much in the update. As I said in one of the devlogs, there are only going to be 2 more updates for the preview alpha. This one and then one in summer. And then I'm going to fully focus on the rewrite, which you may have seen the devlogs already about. There's some exciting things to look forward to, but that's going to be a bit later than now. The rewrite is going to be released no earlier than in November, but honestly it's probably going to be a bit later than that. So let's get to it. Of course there's going to be time for questions as well. So the changelog and then questions, and then I'm going to release the update. So let's look at the changelog. And we're going to start the sandbox game so I can show it off. Okay, let's just wait. Okay. All right, the first change is that all energy storages here, or even the one in the ship's core or in the mobile mines, you can see that they have priority now, and that if you set it to low priority, they're going to this particular energy storage is going to be discharged first and charged last. Well, if you set it to high priority, it's going to be charged first and then discharged last. The way to use it is that, for example, if you have, say, some wind turbines that are very far away, like on a hill, there are no hills here, but if you have like a couple of wind turbines here connected with power lines, and this power line can malfunction. When this happens, what you want is for your energy storages that are near the colony itself to be fully charged, so that it still has the energy for the colony. Well, if you have any energy storages on this side, on the wind turbine side, you want them to be as empty as possible, so that the wind turbines can still do something while they are disconnected. So using the priority system, you can do that now. Or if you manage to find other uses for it, be creative. You can figure out something I didn't. All right, there are some new structures as like in any other update. As you can see, there's a new category for structures, because most of them are new research centers, and they used to all be in education, and there just isn't enough space. And unfortunately, because the UI in preview alpha is very limited, I can't put a scroll bar here. So I had to make a new category, but honestly, it's probably for the best, because when there are too many structures here, it can get a bit confusing. It's difficult to figure out what's where. So now there's a new category, research, where all the labs went, and the observatory, and there are also the research centers, which are new in this update. This is the engineering research center. What it does, it basically works the same as the lab. It makes research points. But unlike the lab, it can't educate any colonists, any students. But it has a lot more people working in it, and it makes a lot more research points, which honestly isn't that useful in preview alpha, because the technologies are still a bit cheaper than they're supposed to be in the final version, because in preview alpha the game isn't optimized enough for large populations. So even if I did increase the research cost the way they're supposed to be according to the design, it would take too long to research them, even with these structures, or rather, you wouldn't be able to fill these structures with enough people, because you can't have that many colonies before the performance goes to hell. But this is already mostly fixed in the rewrite, and I have some more aces up my sleeve to improve it in the rewrite even more. So you can look forward to even better performance in the rewrite. So yeah, that's the engineering research center. There's also one for chemistry, which looks like this. Each of these structures has a symbol for the category it's researching. So this is engineering, this is chemistry. Eventually, I'd like to use these symbols elsewhere as well. There's also one for social science. As you can see, here's the symbol also here. It's a bit of a what do you call it? Well, you know what it is. It's for people to watch a speech here in the middle. So yeah, here people can, well, study people in social science. There's also one for biology, which has a tree in the middle and some plants for researching plants. These are very expensive structures, so expect to build them in quite later game, which is also where their research output is going to be useful. And finally, there's the physics research center for physics. All these structures have a team that all of them are around, so that they should be easier to recognize. And they're also very big, so you should be able to see them easily. But the biggest new structure actually is, or rather the most interesting and the most game-changing structure is the conveyor stockpile, which is here, which is just like a regular stockpile, except it has a conveyor connection. So if you have a mine like this, you can connect it with a conveyor, and then the mine will automatically send all the resources it mines into the stockpile. It only works one way, so it only goes from the mine to the stockpile, and then it has to be any resources in the stockpile have to be tracked from it wherever else they are needed. But it still eliminates one movement of the mined resource, so it's very helpful for that. Usually you would connect two of them, like say this, and have one for stone and one for, I don't know, iron ore or whatever else you're mining, not water. Hello, people in chat. I didn't actually ask if you can hear me well. I hope so. Or if I didn't, I was talking for no reason the whole time. Yeah, good. Oh, you're here. Nice. I thought you wouldn't be able to make it. Hi. So, yeah. So there are some new technologies that are connected to all these new structures. I can't show them right now because they're locked. But there's focused research for each of these each of these research centers, and yeah, each of the technologies unlocks one of these research centers. And there's also one balance change for studio apartments. Studio apartments now have their own technology, studio apartment multiplex, because I realized that they're really needed a lot sooner than they're currently unlocked. They were originally unlocked with comfortable apartments, if I recall correctly, and you usually need the studio apartments, something better than hostels, a bit earlier than those are unlocked. So now studio apartment multiplex has its own tech, which is quite cheap, and it unlocks earlier. What else? Then there are some UX changes. For example, by popular demand. In logistics, you can now, if you click on any vehicles just using left mouse button, it shows you what you can change it to. But if you hold shift while doing it, it will select the track. So you can figure out whether it is. It's here right now. So yeah. Yeah, then there's already mentioned the new research category. All the map overlays here, like these are now saved when you save the game. So when you load it, they are re-enabled. So you don't have to enable them again every time. I don't usually play with overlays, which is why it took so long to implement. But yeah, this is also by popular demand. There's also a hotkey for planning mode, which is P. So you can easily toggle planning mode with the keyboard. That was also requested. Another feature that was requested is having unlimited amount of autosaves. So you can keep all autosaves if you want. I don't know why you would want to, but you can. But keep in mind that late game saves can even be dozens of megabytes, so it can clutter your hard drive pretty quickly. Can we enable the main ship's canteen even if we disable the main ship housing? Not currently. But in the rewrite, I want each of these components to be able to be disabled on its own. So you'll be able to do that in the rewrite. Hopefully, we'll see how well it works. But that's the plan. It isn't implemented yet, but I'm actually getting to it very soon. And also, yeah, whenever you're running out of vehicles, like the packed ones for the logistics offices, it showed you a pin here when there weren't a lot of them left in the cargo ships. But some people were a bit confused by that, and honestly, I agree with them that since packed vehicles aren't really consumable right now, you only use them when you make a new logistics office. There's no point showing them, so that no longer shows. Are there going to be tunnels in the rewrite? Not initially. I'm not planning for them, but implementing them would be pretty easy. So we'll see. It's a possibility, but don't count on it. I don't want to overpromise. There's also one important technical improvement. Colonists are now less selfish when choosing apartments. So, for example, if you have a retired couple that no longer has any children living with them, they will attempt to move to a smaller apartment so that they can leave the bigger one for families that actually need them. But this is still very fuzzy, so it's not like they're going to leave immediately. There are still other factors that can influence it. but in general they should more leave the bigger apartments for families and move to apartments that are the right size for them, and they still prefer apartments that are too large over those that are too small. So you still have to at least provide. You still have to provide them the apartments that are the right size. There are a couple of balance changes. Some tech requirements were changed. They were mostly made easier. For example, the large scale agriculture now only requires 12 greenhouses instead of 15, and there's also the assembly plants. I think require a lot less to be unlocked. Yeah. Are there going to be bridges? Yes, they were teased in the last devlog actually. If you go to Steam, there's devlog number 3, and there are bridges there, so we can take a look. There's also a new law, because when you make palm oil and you needed it for making soap, colonists still used palm oil for cooking, and you could end up in a situation that all the palm oil was used for cooking and none of it was left for soap, so you can actually restrict it for industry use only, and colonists won't use it themselves. So if you have little palm oil, you can reserve it this way. And the final balance change is that the loading time penalty for when you have a warehouse, for example, and it has low productivity, for example, because it doesn't have enough people in it. It actually increases the loading time for every truck that comes, so you can get a traffic jam in front of the warehouse when the productivity is too low. This penalty was lowered, but only for higher productivities, or to be more precise, at 0% productivity, the penalty is still the same, but at like 25, 50, and 75, the penalty isn't that high. For 75%, it's actually very small. Is there going to be farms with animals or something else to produce non-vegan food? I'm actually planning for cultivated meat, which whether that counts as vegan, I'm not sure. We would have to ask vegans about it. But yeah, meat is actually already in the game as a resource, although you can't make it. Like, yeah, here's meat. It doesn't even have an icon because it's not used, but it has been planned for quite a while, and it will come eventually. But it will be cultivated meat, like lab grown. But I'm going to need to add some buildings for that. All right, and then there are fixes. Something happens if I choose the using shop slow without having any shop. Well, no one can get any goods, so they're going to not like that very much. All right, fixes. So a couple of crashes. There was one that happened quite often. I added a new tutorial for when you're running out of power. So the tutorial actually tells you to enable the reactor. And turns out this new tutorial was actually causing crashes, so I fixed that. There were some random rare crashes. There was this, excuse me. There was this one issue with shuttles that happened quite often and that I couldn't figure out what was causing it. And then I finally, on one of the last days, actually, someone sent me a save that was actually extremely helpful in figuring out what it was, and it actually shuttles could actually disappear if you set a shuttle to relocate to the same tile that it was already on. Oh yeah, it was you as Fadolos. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. Yeah, that was extremely helpful. They are safe. So yeah, if you set the mission on the same spot that it already is, which I didn't expect for anyone to do, it would make the shuttles disappear. You can still set them to the same spot it already is, but now it won't. The shuttle won't disappear because there actually is a valid reason to do it. For example, when you want to just rotate the shuttle to on the entrance on a different side. And then there was some crash with rocks being generated out of bounds. The freeze that was supposed to be fixed already but wasn't. This happens sometimes. Yeah, there was this interesting bug that when you have this tool enabled and you wanted to disable the tool, but you had for example any structure under it and you clicked on it, you actually disabled the structure under it. That this was actually a much bigger issue than it seems. Turns out all buttons you could click through in some circumstances. But yeah, I fixed that. And yeah, there was also very interesting bug with the observatory, that because all schools actually have morning and afternoon classes for students, but the observatory is the only one that has in afternoon and night. It's a kind of a special case, and because of that it actually was bugged, and the productivity was calculated incorrectly. If I recall correctly, the afternoon productivity was taken from morning and night was taken from afternoon, because it's shifted in the code, because it's kind of a hacky way it's done in with the students, because education was tagged on very late, and I had to make it work somehow. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing the rewrite. And because of this, you had much lower graduation chance for all physics students. So there were constant shortages of physicists. Fortunately, physicists aren't that important right now in the game. They're going to be more important in the rewrite once they have some. They're going to have some uses that aren't in the game yet. Let's say. Also, bus stops could be landscaped, which caused problems. So you can't landscape bus stops anymore. Yeah, and there was also an interesting bug with floating point errors when the colony was running for long enough. Are there going to be more types of parks in the rewrite? Not even in the rewrite, actually. For the next update, not this one. That's going to be coming out today. Not for this one. The next update, the summer one, which is going to be the last one. I'm planning to make a bigger park. And in the rewrite, there's probably going to be even bigger one than that, but that's going to take some time, because the small park, as you can tell from the name, it wasn't supposed to be just this park. There are going to be larger parks too, and this one is just not enough for most colonies. Maybe very early on, or in like old outposts that you would build outside, or if you don't have a lot of space, because the larger park is going to be much bigger. It's going to be like not just these 7 tiles, but also these, and the even bigger one is going to be as big as a farm actually. So yeah, there are going to be bigger parks. And then there are some visual things about icons. Okay, so I guess this is it. Now there's going to be some time for questions. And in the meantime, you can ask your questions, and I'm going to prepare the release of the update. So let me just prepare it. Okay. Will there be domes where we can build buildings? Probably not. Okay, let me just put it live here first. Okay, and now Steam. Okay, and publish. I just hope I didn't forget about anything. I really should make a checklist for releasing or automate it in some way. I'm sure some more professional developers have it automated. I really should too, because a lot of stuff can be screwed up if I do things incorrectly. But hopefully it's all right. Okay, the update should be live now. Let me just check. You can also check on Steam or on itch. And I'm just going to post it on Discord. Okay, let me just check Steam. All right. So, are there any more questions? I'm going to wait a while. Hello, unfortunately the stream is about to end. Unfortunately, it's a bit short today. Sorry about that. I'm unfortunately not in the mood to play the game like I do on some streams, and the changelog is very short today. But hopefully soon there will be soon the rewrite will come, and then it's going to be a very long and interesting stream, like in November or probably later, but we'll see. Thank you. All right. So, if there are no more questions, I guess this is the end of the stream. So, thank you very much for watching. Oh wait, are there plans to be more power sources like hydroelectric dams or something else? There's definitely going to be a geothermal and nuclear power, and probably more types of solar, but we'll see about that. That actually depends on some things that may or may not happen. But hydroelectric dams definitely not, because there is liquid water in the rewrite. There probably aren't going to be flowing rivers. Current implementation doesn't allow them. We'll see if maybe someday in the future I'll be able to make them, but that's quite the undertaking for a single developer, so don't count on that. The water is probably going to remain static mostly, or not entirely static, but not reverse. But well, yeah, definitely not in the initial version of the rewrite. Yeah, have a great Easter. That's like in 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I don't really celebrate Easter. So yeah, uh, I guess that's it. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time in about 3 months. There should be the summer update. That's going to be the last update for preview alpha, and then the rewrite, probably in November. So see you. Bye.